CTV News headquarters in picturesque Agincourt, you are watching Toronto's breaking news, CP24. And now, a break from that news. I'm Scott Lightfoot. Welcome to CP24 Know-It-Alls, a quiz show with no budget, no prizes, and some very questionable rules. It is a chance to test some familiar faces from this very station on the top stories they've covered over the last few months. So here's how this is all going to work. There will be 3 rounds of multiple choice questions, followed by a final round with a single question. In round 1, correct answers will get you 10 points. Round 2, 20 points. And round 3, well, yeah, you guessed it, the correct answer will get you 30 points. Get it wrong and you will lose the value of those points. And if you buzz in before I have finished reading the question, I will be very annoyed. And you will have to guess without me finishing your question. Your opponents will also have the chance to jump in if you get it wrong. If we make it to the end, and at this point it is questionable, the final round could change the whole game. If you're playing along at home, just shout out your answers. But if you're not loud enough, I will not be able to hear you. Let's take a minute to meet our contestants, all of whom playing for no money, no prizes, other than the chance to be known as the CP24 Know-It-All. Now, she is an early riser, seen on CP24 Breakfast, but she's fun any time of day. It's Jian Lee. He is CP24's crime specialist, and I'm told an expert polar bear dipper. We might get into that later. It is the always fashionable Steve Ryan. And last but certainly not least, he is the in-office comedian. And more seriously, he is also an anchor and reporter. It is Phil Perkins. Hey. Welcome to all 3 of you. Ready to play?
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, let's do it.
Make it happen.
All right, again, 10 points for correct answers. If you get it wrong, you will lose 10 points. Get your buzzers ready. Here we go. Question 1. Last month, a professional women's soccer league debuted in this country. What is the name of that league? Is it A?
Oh, you have to read that.
Chi is buzzed in already. Chi, go ahead.
Northern Super League.
Northern Super League is the correct answer.
Oh, so you got to read
picks
the
up
answers.
10 points.
All right.
Moving on to question 2. The Philadelphia Eagles beat the Kansas City Chiefs in Super Bowl 59. They also prevented a Chiefs three-peat. Who was the MVP of that game? Was it A, Josh Allen, B, Tom Brady, or C, Jalen Hurts? G, you have buzzed in first.
Yes, Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts is correct.
Gosh, I had that.
G picks up another 10 points. Jalen Hurts took 12 of the 20 votes needed for Super Bowl MVP. All right, let's get to question 3. The Professional Women's Hockey League, one of the fastest growing leagues in professional sports, soon expanding to 8 teams. Which of the following is not a team in the PWHL? Is it A, the Scepters, B, the Seahawks, or C, the Fleet? Steve?
Seahawks.
Seahawks is correct. 10 points for Steve. Yes. Along with the Scepters and the Fleet, you can also see the Frost and the Sirens play. The Charge, the Victoire are the other teams, with Seattle and Vancouver joining next season. Now it's time for question 4. I can tell you're already getting tired of me. I'm getting tired of reading. So let's take a video question. Contestants, get your buzzers ready and check out the monitor.
Hey, CP24 Know-It-Alls. This question is for you.
Oh, I love trivia. Okay, the album Cowboy Carter won Best Country Album at the Grammy Awards back in February. It was recorded by whom?
Is it A, MC Hammer, B, Beyonce, or C, Kenny Rogers?
There we go. We have buzzed in. Phil, you buzzed in first.
I was going to say it's Beyonce. I was going to say Kenny Rogers, but I'm pretty sure it's Beyonce.
Phil is pretty sure it is Beyonce. Let's go back to Teddy Wilson and Nicole Cervinas for the correct answer.
The answer is B, Beyonce!
Well done.
Your Beyonce dance?
Well done. Well done.
I do like Kenny Rogers, though.
Me too.
Yes.
I love him.
Me too.
He's also dead, so he was not. He's gone? He's gone. Kenny Rogers is gone.
When did he die?
Question 4. In 2025, the Lunar New Year welcomed in the year of the snake. Which energetic and dynamic zodiac sign did we celebrate last year? Was it A, the rooster, B, the dog, or C, the dragon? Phil?
I think it's Dragon.
That is correct. The answer is C, the dragon.
I knew that.
I
Dragon
am so
reflects.
proud of you,
Yeah, thank
Phil.
you.
Yes.
Luck, success, and leadership, all of
Okay.
which you had on that question. Phil. Moving on to
And
question
hesitation. Yes.
5. He is the wealthiest man in the world. This year he's been one of the most influential people in American politics.
Oh.
What?
Now, Steve is buzzed in. We haven't finished the question.
Elon Musk.
No.
Oh.
That's part of the question. This is why you should let me finish. Elon Musk studied at a Canadian university. Was it A, Trent, B, Acadia, or C, Queens? Phil?
Queens.
Queens is the correct answer.
I knew that.
They used that on my recruiting trip.
Oh, they did.
They did.
That's what happens when you wait
so
for the
does
correct
he lose
answer.
points?
Oh.
Steve has lost
Oh,
points.
really?
Yes.
Wow. Under the bus.
Oh, wow.
All right, chance
Do we
to
have
pick up
that?
those points. Nearly 20 million people watched the 97th Annual Academy Awards back at the beginning of March. Who walked away with the award for Best Director? Was it A, Naomi Watts, B, Sean Baker, or C, James Mangold?
Yes.
I should know this answer.
Isn't Naomi Watts an actor?
Yes, yes. This was
Someone
Best
take
Director?
a guess. Steve is taking a guess.
B.
B, Sean Baker. That is correct.
Wow.
He picked up 10 points.
Wow, good job.
Baker's movie Nora picked up 6 Oscars, including
That's right.
Best
Exactly.
Picture.
Exactly.
Okay, let's see where we stand with the scores right now. G has 20 points. Steve somehow has 10, and Phil is leading with 30. So round 2 is coming up. It is a chance to play for even more points that mean absolutely nothing. It's a chance to realize just how much you don't remember about the past few months. Stay with us. Welcome back to the pure chaos that is CP24 Know-It-Alls, a test of just how much some of your favorite CP24 personalities, by favorite, of course, we mean people who happen to be doing nothing today and were willing to work for free, we're finding out just how much they actually remember of the recent news cycle. Before we continue with the game, let's take a moment to get to know our contestants just a little bit. Let's start with G and Lee. G, viewers may know that you love fashion, especially shoes, I'm told, but it may surprise people to know that you love the band Kiss, and you have actually met them. How did this happen?
I've gone to 4 of their concerts, but I literally just wrote the drummer. It was my son's first concert ever, and he said, come on by, and invited us to a VIP meet and greet. And that's how it just happened. I just sent an email.
Oh, being a celebrity has perks. Let's move over to Steve Ryan. Steve, you may have been a brave police officer for decades, but I'm understanding from what I'm told here that you have never touched a fish or a worm, and you have a thing about snakes. What is this about?
Yeah. I would need probably 1,000 therapists to go through why those 3 things creep me out. But to this day, I still jump over worms on the sidewalk. Oh, I can't stand the
Even
look
at
of
a
them.
crime scene? No.
I've never seen worms at a crime scene, thankfully.
Yeah.
But in my everyday life, worms, snakes, and fish. Never touched the fish.
Fish?
Nope.
That's why I'm afraid of the ocean. There's
Yeah.
so
Because
much
you
down
don't know what
there.
it is with that?
Yeah, giant squid, sperm whale, never know.
So I am manly on the exterior, but interior, I'm...
But are we going to show his shoes?
There's a call to show Steve's shoes.
Oh, we
here.
got it. She loves the
yeah,
shoes.
I love shoes, so
Racing.
come on.
Look at that.
Yeah, lucky
My
shoes.
toes hurt looking at that.
Lucky shoes that go with your jacket.
Oh, love it.
Beautiful. There
Everything's
you go.
velvet. I love it.
Yes.
All you guys, I didn't get the memo.
Steve put all his effort into his footwear and nothing on the top. All right, Phil Perkins, you, I'm told, are multi-talented. You played football for York University as a running back. You're a fanatical Carolina Panthers fan. You also played a dead body in your high school production of Clue. Tell me,
Yes.
how does one prepare to play a dead
so
body?
a lot of sleeping. I was out playing football, you know, you just eat and sleep, and so that's what I did. Ate, slept, and laid there. I had like 5 lines, and I got carried around, which was tough. They needed like 5 crew members to pick me up. But yeah, it was a good time. My first big break. Eugene Levy said I had a lot of moxie in my role. I think he was making fun of me. I couldn't tell.
There you go. Well, today we're playing for bragging rights and a coffee from the company cafeteria.
Oh.
Time for round 2. A reminder, correct answers now worth 20 points, double what they were in the first round. Wrong answers worth -20, and of course, none of these points matter. So let's get started. We should take a look at the scores before we start here. Phil is in the lead with 30. G has 20 points. Steve has 10 points. So here we go. Round 2, 20 points for correct answers. Let's get to the first question. He was the Oscar-nominated director of such classic films as Blue Velvet, Mulholland Drive. Director David Lynch passed away back in January. Which of the following films was not one of his? Was it A, Wild at Heart, B, Inland Empire, or C, Eyes Wide Shut? G, you buzzed in. You think it is?
Eyes Wide Shut.
You are correct. There's 20 points. Eyes Wide Shut was actually the final film directed by the late Stanley Kubrick. All right, so when the Prime Minister of this country told the President of the U.S. that Canada is not for sale, won't ever be for sale, Donald Trump said what? Did he say A, holy cow, B, time will tell, or C, never say never? G, you buzzed in first again. Go.
Never say never.
That is correct for another 20 points. All right.
Dang.
2024 started the great leap forward for artificial intelligence. Which of these is not an AI program that's worked its way into mainstream use? A, ChatGPT, B, Gemini, or C, Robot Guide? All right, Phil, you buzzed in first. Take a guess.
Dang it. Robot Guide?
That is correct. Not a bad guess. Even
Gemini, I don't know,
AI.
it's very AI.
Even AI knows the answers just like Phil does.
Yeah.
Look at that. All right, it's time for another video question. Let's go to CTV Toronto's Jessica Smith.
G. Stephen Phil, Toronto has been awarded a franchise in the WNBA. What will the team be called? Is it A, Toronto Tempo, B, Toronto Spiders, or C, Toronto Towers?
All right, Phil has buzzed in first. Phil, your guess is?
It is the Tempo.
Phil guesses the Toronto Tempo. Let's go
That's
back
right.
to Jess for the correct answer.
The answer, A, Toronto Tempo.
That's right.
I
It's
knew
good.
that. I knew that.
I got merch. I got a hat.
Yes.
It was very good. It's good gym hat. It's
You
good
also
gym
got
hat.
20 points for that.
Yes.
So there you go. Off to a good start. All right, question 10. Blue Origin's New Shepard NS-31 was an all-female mission to space. Which of these women was not on board? Was it A, Katy Perry, B, Michelle Obama, or C, Gayle King? Steve, you say?
Michelle Obama.
That is correct. 20 points for Steve. Question 11, some 6 million euros worth of gold items, including a 2,500-year-old gold helmet, was stolen during a daring heist back in January at the Drents Museum. Where is the Drents Museum located? Is it A, Spain, B, the Netherlands, or C, Sweden? Phil?
Sweden?
No, that is incorrect. Steve?
Spain.
That is also incorrect.
Oh!
G,
She
easy
doesn't get
points
it.
if you can get
She
it.
doesn't get points.
Netherlands.
That's not fair.
you
You should
go.
just drop it. Drop the question.
No points for G because the
Okay,
others
good.
were all taken.
Sorry.
Yes.
I just,
Fair enough, though. For the first time in 20 years, the iconic members of this heavy metal band are reuniting to perform one final show in July. Name the band. Is it A, Black Sabbath, B, Judas Priest, or C, Deep Purple? Steve?
Black Sabbath.
That is correct. It is Black Sabbath. They are reuniting one final show, July 5th at Aston Villa. That is where the band originated. All right, moving on to the next question. The Liberal Party won the most seats in the 2025 federal election last month. For the first time in a decade, they also received the highest share of the popular vote. What percentage of votes did they receive? Is it A, 46.2%, B, 43.7%, or C, 41.8%? Phil, you want to take a guess?
I think it's 46.2%.
You think wrong. Anybody else want to jump in? G, you go ahead.
43.7%.
That is correct. G picks up 20
round it up to
points
44.
on the steal there.
Gee,
Ooh, what is her?
I don't know.
All right, let's head to
fair.
space. The European
Ooh.
Space Agency is planning on creating artificial eclipses to help study the sun. But how does it plan to do that? Is it A, through virtual reality, B, with miniature models, or C, using 2 satellites? Steve, go ahead.
Virtual reality.
That is incorrect. Anybody else want to take a shot? Phil?
I'll say 2 satellites.
That is correct.
Bang.
Picks up 20 points on the satellites.
All right.
Moving on to the next question. This year marks the 50th anniversary of Saturday Night Live. In February, a 3-hour special was held to mark the milestone. Which original cast member was not part of the show? Was it A, Lorraine Newman, B, Dan Aykroyd, or C, Jane Curtin? G, go ahead.
Jane Curtin.
That is incorrect. Steve?
A.
That is also incorrect.
Is she dead? I think
The
she's dead.
correct answer is Dan Aykroyd. He had a prior commitment. Other notable no-shows included Dana Carvey and Bill Hader. Let's take a look at the scores as we go to break. G, you got 40 points. Steve, you're hurting. Negative 10.
okay. It's okay.
And Phil, you got 50 points. Not doing too badly. He is in the lead. 2 rounds down. We're on to round 3 after the break. Don't go anywhere.
Let's go.
Welcome back to CP24 Know-It-Alls, which I'm told is only half an hour long, though it feels much longer by this point, doesn't it? Take a look at the scores of our contestants so far. Now, we had some issues before the break. There were some complaints from the contestants that we got this wrong. Look, I'm not getting paid to do math. I'm not getting paid for any of this. So here's where we're at. G has 40 points. Phil has 50 points. And Steve, we could just have an empty chair here.
You can just hang it.
Just hanging out.
Where's that
That's
water
fine.
bottle? Just put it right
is
there.
bringing nothing to the game at this point other than style and personality. But round 3, 30 points for every correct.
Make it up.
There I come.
Again, those points mean nothing, but you will also lose 30 points. It could get worse, Steve. Here we go. All right, next question. Which highly regarded Hollywood actor turned the wrestling world upside down by making a famous Make-A-Wish record holder sell his soul in turn for a main event match at WrestleMania? Was it A, Matthew McConaughey, B, Dwayne Johnson, or C, Keanu Reeves? Steve?
Dwayne Johnson.
Steve guessed correct. It is B, Dwayne Johnson. John Cena beat Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 41, which of course you all know because you watched, to become record-setting 17-time world champion. All right. How about another video question? This one from the very serious Andrew Bell of BNN. Andrew?
All right, you CP24 Know-It-Alls. Here is your multiple choice question, courtesy of your pals here at BNN Bloomberg. The first commercial Bitcoin transaction was for a pizza order. Was it worth A, 1 Bitcoin, B, 10,000 Bitcoin, or C, 100 Bitcoin?
All right, Steve, you buzzed in
100
first.
Bitcoin.
Steve says 100 Bitcoin. Let's take a listen to the answer.
The answer, it's B, 10,000 Bitcoin. Laszlo Haniec paid 10,000 Bitcoin for 2 pizzas in May of 2010. At the time, that was worth about $41 US. However, as of January of this year, it would be worth about $1 billion US. Back to you, CP24.
We saved that pizza.
Pizza.
There you go. And Steve, you paid 0 Bitcoin to lose yet another 30 points. So, all right, this year's first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs featured a renewed rivalry when the Ottawa Senators faced off against the Toronto Maple Leafs. What is this matchup referred to? Oh, someone's already buzzed in. I'm not even going to read. Phil, what is it?
Battle of Ontario.
That is correct. It is the Battle of Ontario, 30 points for Phil. Okay, it was a contract saga that made Blue Jays fans very nervous, but in a monumental moment in franchise history, the team managed to re-sign 4-time All-Star Vladimir Guerrero Jr. G is buzzed in. She doesn't know what the question is. G, go ahead.
150 million.
What?
No. Have a seat.
That is incorrect. All right, now, how much was Vladdy's contract extension worth? Was it A, $500 million, B, $450 million, or C, $14 million? Steve, take a whack at it.
$500 million.
$500 million is correct. Steve gets 30 points.
Back
Please
at it.
applaud
Let's
for
go.
Steve. There you go. Even some fake applause, too. All right. American booze disappeared from the LCBO shelves back in March. Bad news for bourbon drinkers. Among others, which popular bourbon was with the horse on top was removed from store shelves? Was it A, Elijah Craig, B, Blanton's, or C, Talisker Storm?
You said a horse on top?
A horse on top.
I was like the
on
lid?
the bottle. The lid, the bottle, yes, that is
Lid
it.
of
You
the
buzzed
bottle.
in, so
I'm going
take
to
a
say
guess.
Blanton's.
He guessed Blanton's. Blanton's is the correct answer.
wow.
There's 30
I'm
points.
trying to hide my whiskey love
Yeah.
to the
There you
audience.
go.
I don't drink
See?
that much.
And as Phil knows, each horse on the bottle top has a letter from the brand name on it. And if you buy enough bottles, you can spell out the whole brand. So you're either a collector or you might have a problem.
Yeah, I might have to, yeah, my family wouldn't like that collection, that habit.
But
no.
30 points for knowing it. All right. Osaka, Japan announced a ban on public smoking at the beginning of this year. Violators could be fined up to 1,000 yen. But why would officials enact such a ban? Was it A, for World Expo 2025, B, for Greenery Day, or C, for Mountain Day? Phil, go ahead.
I'm going to say Mountain Day. I feel like they like mountains. They're respectful of the mountains in Japan.
Very respectful of the mountains, but
Yeah.
it's wrong, so I'm going to take the 30 points back. Steve, go ahead.
What was that, A, B, or C?
It's on the screen.
This isn't a rehearsal, Steve. We're doing this for real.
Yeah. So you have A or B.
I'm going to see A. A. I'm saying A.
Steve is saying A. A, World Expo 2025 is the correct answer.
I didn't know they
There's
still
30
had those.
for Steve.
You're welcome.
All right. One of the most viral moments of election night last month featured the Prime Minister showing off his dance moves during an energetic performance at his victory party by what band? Was it A, Dwayne Gretzky, B, Sum 41, or C, Down with Webster? G?
Down with Webster.
It was Down with Webster, of course,
Yes.
formed right here in the city of Toronto. All right, it's time for another video question. This time we are going to hear from CTV's Lindsay Morrison. Lindsay, what do you got?
All right, Steve, Phil, and G, move over baby boomers. Statistic Canada reports that which new generation has taken over as the most populous group in the country? A, Gen X, B, Millennials, or C, Gen Z?
All right, Phil.
As a geriatric millennial, I'd have to say millennial.
He votes millennial.
Lindsay?
Let's see if millennial is the correct answer. Lindsay.
The answer, B, millennials.
Nice.
And we're the most broke, too.
There you go.
It's great.
30
Good.
points and you still can't buy a house. Good job,
Nope,
Phil.
I'm screwed.
All right, the sequel to the box office smash hit musical Wicked will be released in November. Is it titled A, Wicked 2, B, Wicked for Good, or C, Wicked Defying Gravity? G, this one's for you.
Just to put in my second
Wicked
vote.
2?
Okay, this one's not for you. Phil, go ahead.
I'd say B for good.
That is correct.
Oh,
It is B,
wow.
Wicked
I
for
got
Good.
Bad Witch. I've never
Yes,
seen it, but
I haven't seen it either.
Well, if you do see it,
that's true.
For Good is a reference to the popular duet between Elphaba and Glinda from the musical, which will be featured in this sequel. All right, it's
That's
time
good.
for another break. We will be back with the final round, winner takes all, here on CP24's Know-It-Alls. We're back for the final round of this very legitimate quiz show. If you're playing along at home, you're doing great. And this is where we've blown the budget. Each of you has been given a dry erase board. Not new, of course, they're well used. You're going to use them to write down your answer to the final question. Nobody buzzes in. Everyone gets a chance to answer this question, winner take all. All the hard work you've done over the past 30 minutes meant nothing. It is all down to one final question worth 500 points.
500.
Who will determine the ultimate CP24 Know-It-All. Let's take a quick look at the scores before we go. Phil, you have 110 points. Steve, you've bounced back to 20 points. G, you have 10 points. Okay, this is worth 500 points. Good luck to all of you. If you get this wrong, you should probably just leave in shame. What is the current address of the building you are standing in, CP24?
9.
Don't hold it up yet. Don't, Steve. Do not show your fellow contestants. This is for big money. All right, here we go. G, what is your answer? G says 9 Channel 9 Court. That is correct. Steve, you wrote down something totally ineligible. But it looks like 9 Channel 9 Court in hieroglyphics. That's good. We'll take that. And Phil? Phil says 9 Channel 9 Court with some crowns. Okay, everybody got it right, which is incredible. So now, let's take a look at the final scores here. The correct answer, 9 Channel 9 Court.
But
The winner of this game here will receive a novelty crown and a certificate I just printed off at the printer that we can't afford to crown. The winner with 610 points.
Can you
Would
film
you like
this?
to put that on Phil?
Can you
Go
film?
ahead. There you go.
Thank you.
Video.
Congratulations,
Oh, wow.
Phil. Thank you for playing. That is CP24 Know-It-Alls. Thank you for watching.
Oh, beautiful.
Looks great. That
Oh, it looks
wonderful.
good.
Hold that up.
I think it fits.
There you go.
Hey, wait, I gotta get in there with him.
To my dad and my mom. I'm not a doctor, but this would help. Sorry, Mom. Perfect.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well done.